Precisely. Yeah. I'm late for school.
And you were probably late for today's hangout. I'm just kidding. Don't try that at home. That could be dangerous. That was more of an 80s thing. All right, so welcome to today's recap of our Google Hangout. This is period A's recap. So today was indeed, let me just flip this around here. Today was Back to the Future themed. So it was really a cool hangout. We had a lot of different fun with that. So with today's hangout, we had a new Koosh, and we shared some Back to the Future memories. So one of the things, the new Koosh today is named Marty, for Marty McFly. So you can see there's Marty, and there's the Marty Koosh, Back to the Future themed. You can see it matches his classic vest and jean jacket and jeans and all that stuff. So that's the new Koosh. We shared some favorite memories of Back to the Future. A lot of people liked at the end the performance he did of Johnny Be Good and Sweet Angel or something like that. If you've never seen the movie, basically he time travels using an amazing car called the DeLorean. The DeLorean looks like that. We found out that if you, Matteo saw one driving down the street, it's about 35 grand for a DeLorean these days, but it's a sweet ride. So they turn it into a time machine, and what happens is they travel in the first movie, they go back in the past, and then they go in the future. People shared some of the times that they would have went to. Jack did not like the last Airbender movie. It would have stopped it from happening in 2010. Mackenzie Carlson wanted to go to the 20s, but not these 20s, the 1920s, and talk to us and see the fashions of the day. A lot of people and throughout all the classes wanted to just see the future when coronavirus is done with. Or maybe if you could just go back in the past. That's what I would do. Go back in the past, stop that bat or whatever happened from whoever ate that bat that maybe started this. I would stop that immediately. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Other things, people want to see what it would look like shortly after they graduated high school. Some people Jade wanted to go to like 1000 AD before the world had any technology, and it was very chill. Well, not chill, but just different. A lot of people want to go back to their childhood, so back to 2010, or some people really enjoyed their summers in 2016, and those are some of the things. Some people want to go to the 60s because of the music, 80s because of the music, a lot of different things. So let's talk about the math for today. So basically, the first thing we did for the math was this. So we looked at the answers to the classwork from yesterday, and for the most part, you guys did really good. I'll just quickly show you the answers. This was number 2, number 4, number 6. Apparently, I made an error in number 6. When I made the video, the square root of that should have been 4.5. I might have said 4.25. Number 8, you couldn't put in the form. That was my error as well. I believe half of a half is a fourth, and a fourth squared is a 16th. So that's how you complete it, and that's what the square binomial looks like. Pause the video here if you'd like to see the answers for these questions. Most people did really well with these. In fact, everyone got 10, 11, 12 right. And then, so these all came out correct. And then these, usually either 1 or 2 people got these wrong. Mackenzie Carlson asked a really good question about number 8, because it was awkward, because you had to deal with the number -1 for your b value. So number 18, half of -1 is -1/2, and -1/2 squared is a quarter, or 0.25. So I did it in decimal land, and then once I did that, the square root of a half of a quarter is a half, And then I did added a half to both sides, so that's why that turned into 1.25. No, I added a quarter to both sides, sorry. That's why I turned it into 1.25 by square root, and then I add a half to both sides, and it comes out to that. Then we had an amazing trip into quadratic formula land. I have some videos to show you. Don't have as much time as we did in the Hangout to show you all the videos, but it started with this song. It's a TikTok dance for the quadratic formula. Let's go.
This is the quadratic formula TikTok dance. Ready?
You can tell she's a teacher teaching from home. I give her credit. Distance learning 2020 TikTok quadratic formula.
X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
This part gets a little cringy.
A, 2a.
All right. If that wasn't enough, then we came across this. This part was awesome. Remember the story about the negative boy?
Out there and he was singing like X is a minus.
No, not that part.
Boy. The negative boy couldn't decide to go to a radical party. That square boy missed out on 4 amazing chicks, and it was all over by 2 a.m.
Yeah, that was cool. Then we saw this song, which was the harmonizing song of the quadratic formula.
X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
And so if we were in the classroom in real life, I would have had that song on repeat until you guys got the quadratic formula stuck on your head. So that would have been a good one. And then this is what brought us to the end of the Google Hangout. It was this German guy. A lot of thoughts about what this guy's accent was. And then I think it was Jade looked it up for us. And this gentleman is German. Looks very American, but wait for his accent. I thought that guy was American, and I was not expecting this accent.
If you try to solve a quadratic equation, I promise you it's possible without any frustration. If you take everything, move it to one side, stop by x squared, x, and the rest. Alright, now take the coefficients, name them a, b, and c, and if you know the right formula, you will see that you get the solution in the very next step. Just sing the song in your head. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
So then we went into doing that actual question, and that's how we ended our Hangout. So here's an example. We're going to do this a lot next week, but here's an example of doing the quadratic formula here. So I took that example that he wrote for us, and I was like, all right, what's the a, b, and the c? So a is 2, b is negative 8, and c is 6. So then it's literally just plugging it in and simplifying, and you get the solution. It's so much easier than factoring or graphing or using the square root method or using the completing the square, which you've been doing the last few days. So watch what happens. Negative b is negative 8 plus or minus square root of negative 8 squared minus 4ac 4 times 2 times 6. This part's highlighted. It's called the discriminant. We're going to learn a lot more about that next week. Times 2, which is 2 times a. 4 plus or minus, 8, negative 8 is 8, and then negative 8 squared is 64, minus 4 times 2 times 6 is 48. Then check this out, 64 minus 48 is 16. Square root of 16 is plus or minus 4. 8 plus 4 divided by 4, 3. 8 minus 4 divided by 4, 1. If you don't believe me, check it. If you don't believe me, look at Desmos. So here's a solution here. Okay, so that's the quadratic formula. That's what you missed during today's Hangout. And how about that tagline? We need that, don't we? So today's tagline is Marty's last name. Let's do his last name. So if you watch this video, the tagline is McFly. Marty McFly. Well, no, just put McFly. So I think that's capital MC, and then lowercase, I don't know, FLY, McFly. So today's tagline is McFly. Have a good 3-day weekend. We'll see you back Tuesday for work, and then hang out on Wednesday. Have a good day.